to Discover La Jolla, where we showcase the jewel of San Diego, and that's La Jolla, California. I'm very excited this morning to have Neil O'Connell from the Soledad Memorial Organization
Right.
here. You're the executive director,
Yes, Jim.
and you've been involved up there with the cross and the Soledad Memorial for what, 15 years or so?
It's a little over 15 years since 2012 when I left the United States Marine Corps active duty.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to dive into the memorial, a little bit about the history. It's obviously, I think the first cross was erected up there in 1913.
1913.
Then there was another one, I think, that lasted for a little while. And then the one that we see there today has been there since 1954.
That's correct.
And at some point after 54, or was it then that it was dedicated as a veteran memorial? When did that actually take place?
Well, in 1952, the Mount Soledad Memorial Association was formed as a California nonprofit corporation.
Okay.
And if you think about it back then, just on the tail end of World War II,
Right.
the veterans that left the Pacific Theater primarily, who settled in San Diego as young men and women, they knew that the cross was there. Their matriarchs, their mothers, their fathers, their family members would utilize that cross as a place of reflection and solitude.
Remembrance.
To, convey their prayers and thoughts to those in the war zone. And then Korea hits. And so their association was formed to honor and preserve the legacy of our veterans in 1952.
Got it.
And the cross was there as a wooden cross. It had blown down one or two times. It was taken down, but it always has had a cross on the top of the mount.
Got it.
And so the community banded together to actually formalize this process with a charter to preserve the Soledad Natural Park that it is today, but fold in a war memorial.
I see. Great.
And
Smart.
what really caught on with the community at that time was just the patriotic spirit of our nation and our communities.
And having a place dedicated to remember our veterans.
Correct. So back to your question, 71 years ago, the cross was dedicated, 1954, April 18th, 1954.
That's so great. It's such an iconic symbol of La Jolla. La Jolla has a few of those, like the La Valencia Hotel or La Jolla Cove. Certainly the cross is one that you can see from all parts of the county of San Diego.
Yes.
It's very dear to me. I grew up just down the street. I currently live just down the street. I'm able to actually walk up there, which is amazing. It's interesting that location, was a lookout for the Japanese submarines and stuff during World War II. I mean, because you really could see all of San Diego and certainly all of the coast. And weren't there like some old like bunkers and stuff built into the Mount Soledad?
Correct. If you look down into Point Loma, for instance, at Rosecrans, you had these coastal defense batteries in World War II that lined the California coastline from Mexico all the way up the northwest coast. And with the concentration of naval flotilla and the assets in San Diego Bay at that time, 2 fleets, I believe, Third Fleet and I believe the Fifth Fleet, but there was an enormous amount of naval capability there. So it was highly sought to protect. And right down on Via Capri, there's a building that's got a lot of antennas around it.
Yeah.
And I think if you go back through to the Historical Society and some of the archives, you'll see some old stories about the bunker.
Yeah.
And this is built right into the ground. And I believe it's the property of UCSD San Diego.
I think it is UCSD because once I looked into the title of that, it is held by UCSD property.
Right.
So hopefully that chunk of land will always stay the way it is.
But from a vantage point for coastal watchers,
couldn't be better.
You knew that that there were those protecting our coastlines.
And so up there now at the Memorial for the Veterans, how many dedications or plaques are up there currently, more or less?
Right now, Jim, we're pushing about 7,700 plaques.
Wow.
And with more.
Is there, and so there is room to add more?
We just did an expansion of walls, extended walls for 5 walls that would hold approximately 2,000 more plaques.
Oh, that's great.
And so we're going to hit up to about 10,000 plaques. But what folks have to realize when we talk about the data and the statistics, there's multiple names on
One plaque.
a number of plaques.
Got it.
And so our estimate, we're constantly updating this count,
Right.
is there's approximately 10,000 stories to tell.
Wow. That's awesome. That is great.
10,000 stories
Wow.
to tell. It's quite an immense amount of history.
And so jumping back just a little bit into the early 2000s, is that when the walls were created?
Right. The association took it very serious at that time. If you recall, if you go through back into the books, you'll see it was nothing more than a dirt mountain with the steps that you see today surrounding the cross.
Okay.
Those bricks were put in back in in around 1953 and 4 with the original cross
Okay.
by George Dewhurst.
Oh, Dewhurst did it.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know
GDC.
that. That's a neat little
Walter
piece.
Dewhurst.
Yeah.
Wonderful
One
family.
of the great contracting families of La Jolla for 4 generations.
Put that cross up and banded together with a lot of local contractors, Bannister Steel and NASCO and all to do this. But we took it a step further in around 2000, 2002, that we embarked a study group to go around the country and trying to look at what we could do to really formalize this and build the actual memorial.
Okay.
And so if you looked at D.C. and Washington, D.C., and you saw the beautiful Vietnam Wall
Right.
with thousands and thousands of names.
Yep. All engraved and etched into that
Right.
stone. Yep.
You go to the Arizona Memorial or you go to various locations, it seemed that all of the memorials had names by era, by service, maybe highlighting their Purple
Command
Hearts.
leadership or whatever.
Correct, but none had a picture. And there was one right around that time in the industry of the burials and internments and things like this, and the monuments and memorials. They came up with this technology to impose on the black granite the photo.
So this was one of the first that was started implementing that technique.
Right. We saw this opportunity and said, listen, how can we make this to be similar to this, but not a graveyard, not a cemetery. So there was a lot of experiments done, and Mr. James Alcorn, a wonderful gentleman,
famous architect in La Jolla. Yeah.
he designed the parabolic circular design that you have today
With all the walls.
Originally it was just 6 walls to the front,
Okay.
and then it went on to 12 or 6 more in the back
Okay.
on the east side. And those walls have since been extended, so this was phase 3. But Jim Alcorn's vision of it was absolutely spectacular.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's beautiful the way he laid it out and designed it. Well, he's one of the best.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. He's designed a lot of great buildings, a lot of beautiful homes, a lot of the buildings in downtown La Jolla. I mean, Alcorn and Bennett were, major players in La Jolla. So tell me about some of the famous people, if you can, that are up there that are honored that were veterans.
It's interesting you should ask this. We just had the La Jolla Village Garden Club
the tour
group with us yesterday for a picnic and a historical presentation, and many of the families within La Jolla and within the San Diego zip codes have plaques up there on those early walls out front.
Okay.
So it's not uncommon to be strolling the walls and you'll see a famous name of, for instance, the Pernicano family.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
There's 11 members of the Pernicano family up there.
Wow.
You'll come around, you'll see Admiral Halsey and Mrs. Halsey. You know, they had their lineage in La Jolla. You've got 34 Medal of Honor recipients, 6 presidents, a couple of old school World War II actors such as Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, right. Yeah. So you've got some celebrity
veterans. He was an Air Force veteran.
Yeah.
He had a heck of a time in the Air Force. You've got a non-veteran that was made a honorary veteran is Bob Hope.
Oh, of course, because of all of his service for the service.
Right, and it's a beautiful plaque. And We had a very nice ceremony for him many years back. We've also got Jerry Coleman, our Padres
Oh yeah, the announcer. Yeah,
announcer,
40 years.
a
Yeah.
U.S. Marine pilot.
Good.
And very
Good.
close to his plaque, you've got Ted Williams, the
Right.
Boston Red Sox
There you go.
star. Both these gentlemen served in Korea,
Uh-huh.
and they were unbelievable aviation aces. And
So when you just mentioned something interesting, events up there. So
right,
it is a memorial. It is open to the public, and people
yes,
can go up and view it. It's free,
yes,
right? And it's one of probably the best view in San Diego.
no doubt.
But you also hold events up there, private events.
We do,
Can you tell me a
we
little
do.
more about that and what type of events happen up there?
I'd be glad to, Jim. We're excited about this. Really excited because of what you just mentioned leading up to this, the view. And in a few weeks here, we'll get through the June gloom.
Yeah.
We'll just have spectacular views.
Right.
And so our east side ceremonial lawn, we've actually elevated this to be able to host corporate events, private mixers,
Okay.
get-togethers, recognition ceremonies. We've to the point last year we had over 80 events up there.
Wow. So you're having something every 4 or 5 days up there. I mean,
Exactly. Next
on
week
average.
we'll have 2 more events, and that brings me to this point of here you are. You're at the top of this beautiful, beautiful hill, surrounded by over 18 walls with 10,000 stories. How about just let's integrate a little bit of history into your cocktail hour or mixer or whatever your presentation may be,
Right.
whether this is real estate,
Right.
finance, athletic groups, social organizations, what have you, within the community. Let us help you make this a special occasion.
Right. Instead of renting out a hall or a chamber and down in the village or something, now
Right.
you've got this beautiful natural setting that, well, I mean, people travel around the world. When they come to La Jolla, they go up there for that
definitely.
specific to see the view,
Most definitely.
which is a good place to watch the drone show, I've heard, which
That's
is
right.
coming up on the 4th of July. That's probably about as good a lookout for all the fireworks that are happening throughout the
Yes.
county, certainly downtown the Bay. And then we have the drone show happening off the Beach Club, which the cross just overlooks the Beach Club perfect. So good spot. If you can find parking up there that day, it's going to be a busy day, right? On the 4th of July up there.
That's a fantastic opportunity. We're excited about this, and thank you for working with us. And
Oh, of course.
we're excited to be able to, share this with the public. There's beautiful steps to sit on. Parking, the best thing to do is to walk up if you're right from, the top
Soledad
of the
area.
hill area.
Yep.
Come on up and or take a ride share and get dropped off and stroll up. Bring your chairs, bring your blankets, observe the memorial. It's open to the public, free of charge, and it will be the best location.
Yeah.
Unless you might be right on the shores at the beach.
Yeah, that could be more
the
fun to
cove.
be, right there on the sand. But no, I mean, growing up as a kid in La Jolla, that's where we would go. We'd either go down to Kate Sessions
Right.
Park and watch it from there, or you'd go up to the Cross and watch it from there. So tell me about any upcoming events that you're having up at the memorial that our viewers should be aware of.
Well, our next public event that we'll start to announce is Prisoner of War Missing in Action National Recognition Day,
Okay.
which is the 20th of September, shortly after the 9/11 memorials and things like this that take place. But we will gather together with some speakers, some living prisoners of war,
Okay.
and have a very nice tribute and a remembrance ceremony for the thousands and thousands of men and women
That
who
are still missing.
missing in action.
Got it.
And this ties into our plaques and our honor walls, where we have right now, I think by last count, we were about 360 missing in action plaques that we have, that families
Have purchased.
have put on the
I
walls
see.
to honor their loved ones. And most of these were from World War II and Vietnam, some Korea,
Okay.
that display very young photo pictures of them when they were
Right.
young men. And in addition to that, the prisoners of war, we have 168 prisoners of war who are recognized on the memorial walls. And So we'll pronounce that, and we
Good.
want to
So that's
educate
a
the
great
public and the
that's a
community
great
on
event
that.
that's coming up,
Yes.
and that's open to the public to
Be
come
open
up,
to the public, yes.
so people can come participate. They can also help donate. You can go to soledadmemorial.org and
That's
you can
correct.
learn more about the history
Yes.
of the site, see a lot of the photos, learn more about the events, private events. Well, that's great. I personally had no idea that you had that many events taking place. It makes sense, right? If you have the best location basically in San Diego, why wouldn't you have events there? Now, when you say it's open to the public, are there hours that the park or the memorial is technically open to the public?
The park opens every day. It's about 7 a.m. and they
Okay.
close at 10 p.m.
Okay.
Our docents are on duty at 8 o'clock, running up till about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
So there's people up there that'll help answer questions, guide you,
Yes, Jim.
explain things. Oh, that's so nice. So you can go up there and people are there to help you
Absolutely.
and educate you.
Exactly.
That's a lot of education, and there's a lot of history and so many families affected when you think about the global impact of that memorial.
Right.
That's just fascinating. I'm so proud of what you guys are doing, and
you, Jim.
I'm honored to be part of it. Discover La Jolla is honored to be part of it. Like I said, I mean, when I'm coming back to San Diego or I'm traveling from somewhere else in California and I see the top of Soledad and I see the cross, my blood pressure drops and I know that I'm back home and everything's going to be all right. So
we're proud, and we couldn't thank you enough for having us on with your audience and your wonderful people.
Well, it's an amazing, iconic location in La Jolla, and I'm so glad it's preserved, and I'm so glad that it's going to continue forward and continue to honor all of our veterans.
Yes.
Good job.
Most definitely. Thank you, Jim.
Well, thank you, and thank you for tuning in to this episode of Discover La Jolla, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.